Government magic is happening on the 43 million right now. These are two cases where Yemi Osinbajo is presiding, and it is a month later. The minute they found the Babachir Lawal case, Babachir Lawal is meant to have been arrested. They are meant to have freed the EFCC to act. What the government did by setting up that panel was obstruction of justice, standing in the way of justice, because a presidential panel has no legal authority. It is only advisory. The only thing that could come out of that panel is they would advise the EFCC or the police. The police has the tools and the capacity and authority. The EFCC has the tools, capacity, and authority. The presidential panel has no tools, no capacity, and no authority. The only thing they can do is obstruct justice by advising the EFCC to leave Babachir Lawal and leave NIA, okay? Or they can hand over their findings to them and say continue, but at the end of the day, they cannot convict them. So the panel could have been set up parallel, but not as an obstruction to what the EFCC is meant to have been doing. The EFCC is meant to have continued doing what it was doing, which is investigating the 43 million and investigating Babachir Lawal. Now, it is a month later, and a month later, Yemi Osinbajo has not yet sacked Babachir Lawal. He has not yet dismissed, okay, he has not yet unleashed the EFCC to arrest these people. By so doing, Yemi Osinbajo, he has been sabotaged. He have gone. We have lost Yemi Osinbajo. As far as the struggle goes, Buhari was lost long time. I think maybe Buhari got lost the minute he negotiated with the APC, with Tinubu and stuff. He gave away all his principles, assuming he had them, which is, we'll talk about this on another day. But he gave away all his principles on that day when he was contesting. These are the principles we will not give up. We will fight without the cabal. We will fight this war and win this war with the power of honesty, truth, and the people. With your power. We are not signing up with any cabal. We are not selling ourselves, because once you sell yourself, you are unable to fight the cabal. And that is why, as I was saying about Alex Ibru, a hero that everybody should read his story, Alex Ibru resigned from the Abacha government, which is what I'm advising anybody under the Buhari government to do at this stage, which is what I expect Yemi Osinbajo to do. If they are not giving him the proper powers, and if he's not able to execute his duties as he should as a vice president and as an acting president, he should resign honorably like Alex Ibru did. Now, Alex Ibru resigned as Minister of Interior in 1995 after, the whole stuff that Abacha was doing. Alex Ibru resigned. And guess what happened in 96? They shot him. He lost his eye and 2 fingers. They had to fly him and his deputy to London for emergency treatment. From this, he died later in 2011. But you must not be afraid of death. The death is not the issue. None of us is afraid of death. Or we should not be afraid of death, because we are dying every day anyway. From, if it's not the army shooting us, it's a terrorist shooting us. If it's not, it's Fulani running around. Thank you, Babarili. Right behind me. Together we will win this war. So, as we're saying, he should resign like Alex Ibru. Alex Ibru honorably resigned because he could not continue to be a part of the Abacha regime that was a tyrannical regime. Alex Ibru resigned honorably because he could not continue to be part of that regime. It's what you do when you see that the regime you are a part of is not allowing you to execute your duties as you should. When you see that the regime you are a part of is violating the Rome Statute, is involved and engaged in crimes against humanity, is rejecting and standing in contempt of court orders, and you as a lawyer, a son attorney general of high integrity and capacity, Osinbajo is the one who fought the Obasanjo government when the Obasanjo government was incapacitating Lagos. Yemi Osinbajo fought and won every single case against the Obasanjo government. He knows the law. Now he is the president, acting president of Nigeria. And you have him under a government, and his government is now in contempt of court to release people. You see, when you have people that are not being released, it's just like if anyone, you see, there was a stage where, in fact, I myself, I confess that at a point I was not clear on how important these things are. Because there was a time when initially Buhari said, I'm not releasing Dasuki. And I said, yes, don't release him. He's a terrible man. But guess what? After Dasuki, he held another. He held Nnamdi Kanu. He held Zakzaki. They held some journalists. They held Abu Sidiku. They keep on holding people. And then you now realize that the court order of the court triumphs and stands above everything else. There is no excuse for the executive to say that we know better and we are going to violate the court. Donald Trump cannot do it. With the bombings happening in London, if it was Buhari was Donald Trump, by now he would have put that Muslim ban in place. Donald Trump cannot do it because the judgment, the judiciary is independent and must be respected. Once you violate the order of the court, you have led to anarchy. You have put the country on a path of tyranny. You have destroyed the fabric of society, and the society may not recover from that for another 300 years. You see, when you look at the violation of the court orders, you will say, oh, Dasuki is a bad man. This one is a bad man. I'm going to violate the court orders. Tomorrow, it may be you. It may be a good man. It may be a man you know. Once a court has given a judgment, it has to be respected by all and sundry. And the other thing is, what about when another government comes in and now uses that same thing, that same violating court orders? Another government comes in and says they are locking you up. They are locking Osinbajo up. And they say, oh, we know why. We know more than the judge. The judge says free Osinbajo. The judge says free Buhari. And that new government now uses the same tool that you used and said, oh, we know why. We know certain things in national security interest. And because of these things, we are not going to free you. Then who will you cry to? This is why at any given point in time, you must respect the court. Nigeria is in a very precarious and dangerous situation as the Buhari and Osinbajo government continue to stand in violation and in contempt of court orders. This is one of the reasons why we are going to take over this power in 2019, to put the cabal in check, to respect the judiciary, and to put Nigeria finally on a path of common sense. Common sense, very simple thing. So just to obey court order. In fact, before I go, just one last word. Let me explain why the government is not obeying the court order as regards to Dasuki, and it's very important. The reason why they are not obeying that court order is because they have no case against Dasuki. This is the truth. They have no case against Dasuki. Check it out. It is 2 years later. Every time Dasuki is to appear in court, what do we see happens? They say SSS failed to bring Dasuki. SSS failed to bring Dasuki. SSS failed to bring Dasuki. It's either Dasuki has secrets. Another thing we see is they say open trial. They say no, closed trial. It's either Dasuki has secrets on Boko Haram that they are afraid of coming out. But one way or the other, they are going to keep Dasuki in house arrest till 2019. Mark my word. They are afraid or unable to go ahead with the case against Dasuki. Now, let us even look at the case that they said they had against Dasuki. They said they found some guns in Dasuki's house. That they found 5 guns. Dasuki said, the guns are for my staff, my security men. You want them to be walking on the street when they are going home with the pop action guns? He said, the guns are for my... That is the kind of case they have against Dasuki. And maybe they found $20,000. Dasuki was NSA. He had just resigned how many days earlier? He will say the money is national security money. $43 million. We are watching government magic happen. NSA Mongunu has come to cover up that 43 million found in a house in Ikoyi that the NIA Oke's wife was carrying bag. They say, NIA. This is like CIA. Imagine the CIA. Say, we want to run covert operation. So it's the wife of CIA boss that will carry cash to buy the house that we'll be using. And NSA Mongunu, the current NSA of Nigeria, is saying, yes, I know about it. They are doing government magic. That's why the panel report has not come out. They are doing government magic. The 43 million. They say the woman, NIA did not have any other intelligence officer to do it. Is the and Osinbajo is part of this. Buhari is part of this. They are not the people you thought they were. They are not the people. Maybe it's because Buhari is sick or old, or he was never the person you thought he was. But for them to be sitting down, this panel has not yet. They have not yet arrested. Okay. NSA Mongunu is part of the three. Have you ever heard of 3-man panel before? It's an insult. It's a slap on our face to say a 3-man panel. See, there are so many problems. 3-man panel. That's the first. That just first of all overrules that panel. Number 2, NSA Mongunu is on the panel. NSA Mongunu is indicted. He is implicated. NSA Mongunu is the one covering up. NSA Mongunu is now saying that he knew about that money and that he went to inspect the project. And he said, oh, well done. You are doing good with this project. You are doing well. That the thing you are building in Abuja, in dollars, you see, $43 million. We know what that money was for. PDP, president. Do you know when that money was released? The money was released on February 14. That's when Jonathan released the money. They said they've been asking of the money for 2 years. The money was released on February 14. Guess what February 14 is? February 14 is the date that Jonathan postponed the election when he saw he could not win. He released 43 million to NIA. Ayodele okay. Ayodele okay, his wife had bought house with cash money. They used to call it apartment XXX. No number. They didn't keep name there. They now put the money dollars cash. And they said, my God. And the NSA Mongunu, according to reports in Premium Times, now, mind you, he has not yet come out himself to say these things, so, but according to reports in Premium Times, and Premium Times called that report, all you need to know. That means intelligence sources gave Premium Times this information, that NSA Mongunu said he knew about the projects, about the money. He told Buhari, and that he inspected the projects in Abuja and Lagos and said, well done, you are doing good project. The question is, if you want to construct covert projects, why is the money released in US dollars? Where was that money being changed? So, for instance, they want to do a covert project in Lagos. They said it's Lagos and Abuja. They want to do a covert project. They want to build something. They will take that dollars. Let's say they take 10 million out of it. They will change it into naira. Or were they paying people in dollars to do that project? They will have to go to a bank and change it. Their cover is blown. The minute you carry $10 million into a bank to change into naira, your cover is blown. They see that you are the one carrying the money. So you might as well have been withdrawing the money from your account in the bank the same way. You see, there are so many holes in this story that we are just waiting for that report. But just like NSA Dasuki's matter that has been put in is coming, they cannot finish it. They cannot charge him to court. The same thing have happened with this NIA $43 million. They have put is coming. They are waiting for Buhari to come. Because Osinbajo, and that's why I'm saying probably and possibly what Osinbajo needs to consider at this point in time is resigning. Because if God has said you will lead up Nigeria, Osinbajo did not think himself there. I'm not inspiring myself there. If God has said you will lead Nigeria, you will lead Nigeria. By resigning or threatening to resign, when you see that you cannot prosecute NIOK and you cannot prosecute SGF Babachir, people, SGF Babachir, who stole money from IDPs for development of victims destroyed by Boko Haram, displaced by Boko Haram, living in shelters, our NGO continues. Our NGO is the top NGO providing, I believe, is the top NGO providing clothes for the displaced people. Every winter in Borno, they get cold. They are dying of hunger. It's a disaster, catastrophe. And SGF Babachir Lawal was consuming the money. And for 4 months, Buhari did not act. And the Nation, a report in the Nation said that Buhari got tired of shielding Babachir. You are shielding somebody that is stealing from Boko Haram victims. And now, Professor and Pastor Yemi Osinbajo is shielding the same man too. He has not been arrested. Handcuff has not been put on him. They have not raided his house. He has not been dismissed. It is how many months since he was indicted by the Senate? This is Dr. Perry Brimah. Follow me on Twitter. My Twitter handle is @everynigerian. Search for our group. Our group is growing. Search for our group on Facebook, which is Advanced Nigerian. Be an advanced Nigerian. We are not slacking with these people anymore. We are taking our nation back. It's going to be a revolution. The revolution will be firstly in our hearts, then on the streets and on the pole. We are taking our country back. Join our campaign. I'm Dr. Perry Brimah, and by God Almighty's grace, I will be the leader, the president of Nigeria 2019, and at last, we will think this correct way. We will take Nigeria forward. Thank you very much. God bless you all.